Hi there and welcome. Today I want to introduce you to a simple but profound tool called the work, created by Byron Katie. The work is a way to gently question the thoughts that cause us pain, those stories that loop in our minds and fuel frustration, resentment, and self-doubt. Before we dive in, I want to share a little reminder about your brain. We saw this in the modules. Our brains are actually pattern makers, and that's how they keep us safe. Based on past experiences, your brain is constantly scanning for familiar situations and drawing quick conclusions. That's not bad, but it's actually innocent and it's even quite protective. For example, if you're crossing the streets, it's good that it has this pattern recognition. But here's where it can become hurtful. When we believe the conclusion the brain jumps to without really pausing to consider all the other possible explanations. You see, your mind is wired for survival, not for happiness. It will always err on the side of threats rather than giving the benefit of the doubt. That's just the way we're wired. That's our biology. And when we feel frustrated or hurt in relationships, chances are our brain has filled in the blanks with a story, often the most painful and threatening version, the most protective version in a way. Really, the work, this tool, helps us slow down, question those conclusions, and gently build the case for other possibilities. It's not about forcing positivity, it's about loosening our grip on the one interpretation that's been keeping us stuck in pain. It's simple, just 4 questions followed by a turnaround. It's a fresh perspective. And often that's all it takes to soften the suffering. Let's walk through this together. All right, imagining a situation. You're feeling frustrated with your partner. Maybe it's been simmering for days, and or you're right here in the heart of the moment. And if you pause for a second and notice, what's the story in your mind right now? Feelings like frustration only last 90 seconds in the body. And if your feeling is longer than that, it's probably that there's a story, a thought that's fueling the fire. Let's turn up the volume on that story and we can really actually hear it. Maybe the thoughts sound like, I'm frustrated because my husband doesn't value me. That might feel heavy, familiar, even justified. You might have a lot of evidence for that, but let's gently inquire about it using the 4 questions of the work, okay? The first question, once you've identified your belief, is it true? Here, the thought is, my husband doesn't value me. Is it true? Take a breath. Is that true? Notice what arises, no judgment, just curiosity. And if you said no, that's great. If you've said yes, that's okay too, because it might feel very true in the moment. Ask yourself a second time, can you absolutely know that it's true? 100%, without a doubt, without any room for other possibilities. Sometimes this question cracks the door open to another perspective. Question 3, how do you react? What happens when you believe in that thought? What happens in your body, in your emotions, in your behavior? Do you close down? Do you pull away? Do you get defensive? Do you feel small? Let yourself really notice. This is the cost of holding on to the story, and you want to know what your reaction to the story is. And again, the story is, my husband doesn't value me. Question 4, who would you be without that thought? My husband or partner doesn't value me. Picture the same moment, the same partner, but without the belief, he doesn't value me. Who would you be? How would you feel? How would you show up? Is there more ease? Is there a little bit more openness? Now let's go to the turnarounds. Now we try on other ways of seeing the situation, not to force ourselves to believe them, but to gently build the case for different possibilities, right? Because we said the brain is a pattern maker and it will jump to the most threatening possibility. Now we're just putting a pause on that and turning around the statement to see if there are other possibilities in how we interpret the situation. The original thought, my husband doesn't value me. Turnaround number 1 is a turnaround to self. Where that first turnaround is, I don't value me. Where have I been dismissing myself, neglecting my own worth? Try to find 3 examples where you feel like you've been dismissing yourself or neglecting your own worth. Potentially intolerating the way your husband talks to you, or potentially not speaking your needs. Try to find 3 good examples. Turnaround number 2, it's to the other. The turnaround is, I don't value him. Is there a way I've overlooked or diminished his efforts or presence? Try to see if you can build a case for ways where you've overlooked or diminished his efforts, where you don't value him. Perhaps you're not valuing him right now by assuming the worst and thinking that he doesn't value you, for example. Or perhaps you can think of a time where, you didn't really follow or we dismissed his opinion or his desires. Again, find 3 examples. Now let's go to turnaround number 3. He doesn't value me. So the opposite. My husband doesn't value me. And now let's go to the opposite. He does value me. Can I find any small signs, however subtle, that he cares and that I matter to him? Try to find examples where he was supportive and showed you that he valued you. Every one small example can soften the edges of the story. Every example of the other case, the other interpretations can help loosen the grip of your mind on that one interpretation. And remember that one interpretation, that if you go back to the emotions and the feelings that causes you so much suffering, causes you to close, causes you to contract, causes you to pull away, and think about these other possible explanations. Really, the work is a practice. It's not a quick fix. It's a way of meeting our mind's old survival patterns with kindness, curiosity, and honesty. With time, we do this practice. We can do it daily, weekly. With time, we suffer less, not because life becomes perfect, but because we no longer unquestioningly believe every stressful thought our mind throws at us. Because Byron Katie, who invented this sheet, believes that the cause of our suffering is our thoughts. Not sometimes, not 50% of the time. To her, it's really 100% of the time. That may be true for you or not. It may not be your truth. But hopefully with this exercise, you can start exploring other possible interpretations of a scenario, and it will help you loosen the grip and therefore relieve some of your suffering linked to your thoughts. You can apply this to any situation that triggers frustration, hurt, fear, anger. And if you feel called, journal your answers or fill out the sheet with a pen or simply sit with them. You might be surprised at what unfolds. Thanks for doing this exercise with me, and I hope you get a lot out of it.